We're back for season 1, episode 2 of The Golden Bachelor.
Hey girl.
Hey
Here we
girl,
go.
how's it going?
Pretty good. I feel like I watched these two episodes pretty close together. So 2 and 3, I should say.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to talk about 2 first and try to keep my future thoughts aside.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you already know what's going to happen and you're just like, well, it makes sense if you go back to or whatever.
Right.
Well, I guess we can start with the opening scene. Oh, first of all, the scenes of California are so breathtaking that I'm like ready to go back.
Yeah, it looks stunning. I know. And correct me if I'm wrong. Where are they? I was gonna say Palm Springs, but that's not right, is it? Is it
No, I
my
think
region?
I feel like it's somewhere Southern California.
Yeah.
But I mean, being hotel detectives, I have not been able to track this property down.
Hmm.
We'll have to do-
Well, the first thing about this venue, if we can say that, is these bunk beds that I
Oh
can't
my gosh. Yeah.
really seem to get over. I think this is kind of standard protocol for The Bachelor, which again, not super familiar with. However, these women are elders. They cannot be in bunk bed. This is like unbelievably cruel. I could not believe that they were getting into bunk beds. Sandra there, again, just gentle reminder, she's 75 years old. I
Exactly.
mean, she cannot be in a bunk bed.
No, I agree. I thought that was a little ridiculous. And they were such good sports about it for the most part.
That's what I was going to say. They just were totally rolling with it. And that's when I really forgot. Sometimes you forget their ages because they're so like agile. But then they had the Chiron up with, I think it was, I don't know if it was Teresa who I'm looking at there, trying to give Sandra the top bunk. And, Sandra, age 75. Like, it's just, yeah,
Yeah. It
it's
was it was not okay. I also like my immediate thought was like, I wonder what it smells like there. Cause you know, sometimes older people smell like, and this is not all older people,
yeah,
but
yeah,
sometimes there's a little bit of a like, I've been around long seasonings that they have.
yeah,
I don't know. So I was
yeah,
like, I wonder what that establishment smells like if there's a lot of Ben Gay going on. Like, what's happening? We need to know, you know? That's
yeah. Some menthol smell or something. Yeah, I mean, they do seem to be getting along really well, like with their kind of in between times and getting ready, things like that. Of course, I did notice the woman from the Philadelphia area, and I can say this because of being from there, is was a little snappy to one of the other women. She was doing her hair. She said something about leave this to the experts, or like I've been doing this for a while, something like that. So
Oh, Lindsay, I think that's episode 3.
no, she I think I have it in my notes from episode 2. I think she was snappy in episode 3, again, future, about cooking something with
Oh, okay. Because I was
but
also my correction from a previous episode where I thought April was the pickleball coach. She is not.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Again, we're not experts on these names. There's too many women.
There's too many women. It wasn't April, it's Ellen. She's the pickleball coach. April is the therapist, even though I think April may need therapy herself.
Yeah.
So yeah, correction from episode 1 on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For the record. You got that right.
There's only one pickleball coach in this town, and it sure is people. Okay. So the thing that I have is so the host, okay, so they go in, they get their bunk assignments, and then he comes in with an envelope, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I have never seen a host more shocked at the fact that they didn't know what to do with the envelope. He's like, come on, guys. There's only 18 seasons of The Bachelor, and you still don't know what this is.
Right. Well, I probably didn't know what it was either.
As well, but I loved the expression on his face because he was like getting ready to leave, and they were like, "Well, what is it? What's going on?"
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
we're only in season 12, so great.
Right. Right. I think at the beginning of the episode too, they were toasting to Social Security,
Oh yeah.
which I thought was a lovely touch. I just love that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And Teresa, the woman to here, I noticed too just how like amazing all their bodies are. Like her legs, like I would love her legs. Like they're again our elders, but they look amazing. It was just another reminder of how beautiful they all are. It's
It's
like wow,
the crop this batch.
they did. They did.
For sure. So then they came out and they said, well, this is a invitation for the first date or something or
Yeah.
some date, right?
One-on-one.
Mm.
Yes. And that was Teresa got to do that.
Yes, she did.
And I was terrified though that
OMG.
they were in that car. First of all, she just had her hair done really nicely, and then they put her in a convertible. So I was like, that's number two. What's going on here, guys? You're not taking care of these women. And
Right.
then the headlights didn't work. And I thank you for these visuals. I
Oh, sure.
really appreciate the storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really nervous for them. I mean, it was cute. They were like holding hands and or touching each other, kind of like she was comforting him, I think, at that point. I don't think
No,
they were.
she absolutely like this is what I
Yes.
thought was so great because he even acknowledged he was like just that touch helped me get us through and I was like oh Gary he's so
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Gary was like very nervous and I was too even when that like big truck came by and was honking at him and I'm like this is a senior he doesn't know that but I was
Yeah.
very much like is Gary gonna be okay?
Yeah. So I was happy to see them get to the diner, if you call it that, the themed
Mm-hmm.
diner. I'm not too sure about what that was. I did used to watch a show on the Freeform channel that was called Alone Together. Shut up, Alone Together. And one of the characters on that show worked at a diner such as this, where she had to kind of like dance and perform doo-wop stuff. So obviously this is all prearranged. It's, ABC Studios putting it all together, but I mean, it was cute. And they were kissing a lot, I think, too. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
and out of all the people to kiss, he would kiss the woman who loves to kiss and tell. Like, can't wait to write.
Future episodes, but yes,
Yeah, for
yes,
sure. I
you're
mean,
right.
like, wow, like Gary's really putting the moves on her. Like, I'm even feeling invested in this relationship, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I know. And it's like the first episode where you're really getting into the meat of dates and they're already so close physically. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And then I think the next thing I have in my notes is the group date. Do you have anything else on this night or
No, no.
okay. So with the group date, again, this is where my ignorance of Bachelor Nation jumps out because I think we're supposed to know who this photographer is, or the maybe he's on the regular Bachelor and people know him. I do not know who he is. I assumed he's a regular.
Yeah, the way they set it up was kind of like, and you all will know this guy, and we're all like, no,
Mm.
no one knows this man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course they had, all the arguments about who got what outfit. And again, I'm reminded how beautiful they are, but then at the same time, I'm reminded there's like no body diversity whatsoever. Like all the women could just throw anything on and they look stunning and they have amazing legs and all that. So yeah, that kind of stood out to me. But I mean, I guess this is this kind of stage stuff they do on The
Yeah.
Bachelor, I guess. These like little vignettes.
I thought that was really cute. I was really searching for a picture of Gary with a wig. I found one
Oh,
and it didn't make it into my backgrounds, but
gotcha.
that part, like I was like, okay, Gary even looks cute in a wig.
Yeah, I know. He really is handsome and he has great hair naturally. So
Yeah.
that's working out for him. I think I had, oh, the woman crying in the wedding dress, she had a Cartier love bracelet on. So she was winning already. I noticed that. I clocked that. Yes.
Nancy. Mm-hmm.
Fancy. That was really cute. I mean, people wearing crop tops. I wasn't loving at this time, at this particular juncture of the episode, I was not loving Kathy, the retired education consultant.
Yes.
She wanted a red rose, but she was wearing a maroon. She's like, I should get a rose because I'm wearing a red dress, but she was wearing a maroon dress.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I liked all the kind of miscellaneous facts that they were throwing out. Like, this one likes to cook, this one's spiritual, this one has a master's degree. Like, all of that stuff was, I mean, you're starting to get to know the women, because up until now I can't keep them straight, really.
Or remember their names really. So I mean, I'm glad that we're like narrowing it down so I can keep track of who's who.
Agree.
So I mean, those were really cute. I feel bad for Nancy that Nancy had this moment where the wedding dress unlocked something or another. I kind of wish that she would have spoke up and asked one of the other ladies, like, hey, um,
Yeah, I think that's what's hard about these reality shows, because part of them must know, okay, there's certain things you need to do to move the plot along. Don't rock the boat in your testimonials. Don't rock the boat to their face. Otherwise, we're not going to have any conflict if you just solve all your problems right away, like normal people do. But I agree. Like, there's so many things that the woman who was it, Prince's ex-girlfriend, who wanted the Woodstock outfit, just there's ways of kind of handling that. But I think they like to kind of mope about it on camera afterwards rather than just talk to the person directly, which again is the definition of reality TV.
I mean, it did get her a date with Gary or some alone time with Gary, which is nice, but it's unfortunate that she had to go through all that just to get it.
I know.
So yeah, I mean, that's what I've got. I did make a note about the Leslie and Natasha battle, because we talked about there was a little bit of drama there. Honey, Natasha did not care what Leslie wanted, and that was
Yeah.
an instant of Leslie kind of tried to voice her opinion. I really would prefer this, and Natasha was like, too bad.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. She did ask her directly. I forgot about that part. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't always work out the way we want, but doesn't hurt to speak up.
Yeah. I
Um,
noticed just how like Indiana Gary is, like, oh gosh, that's a nice compliment. Like, he's just so like, oh shucks kind of guy, with everything, the way he talks, which is cute.
no, that was an Indiana thing.
Midwest, I
Oh,
guess.
Midwest. Oh,
Yeah, I would say.
he's so
I'm
cute. So yeah, and then after they did all the group pictures, I think he came back over to the house, right? And then I think that's when they got to talk to him a little bit more one-on-one. And then the woman you have in your picture was like, hey, I really love sports. We also found out that the woman who plays guitar and rides motorcycle is also a radio host.
Yes. I think I have a note, but I think I mistyped it and I'm struggling to notice what I actually meant. But I do have a note about first impression Rose Lady going a little too far with something. She's a country bumpkin. I can't remember what she was talking about for me to make that note. I think it was maybe like, I'm a country girl and I can was she referencing something about the outdoors? I don't know, but it was, to your point, it was something about her bringing herself back to the forefront. I can't remember what she was talking.
I thought that was interesting. I'm glad he was able to learn a little bit more about the ladies, and then I was able to learn a little bit more about the ladies. But nothing there particularly stood out to me, other than the fact that Faith can do it all, and Faith is just like undefeated. So
Yes, she's a Renaissance woman for sure.
And then we also got this sweet moment where he gave her the frame picture of them from the photo shoot earlier, which to me was a little odd because I was just like,
yeah, I thought, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with a photo of me in a wedding dress with a man who I may or may not marry.
I thought the exact same thing. And didn't she really have kind of like an overreaction, like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet? And it was just, I agree. I was like, where's she gonna put this when she gets home? I
Yeah.
mean, to say nothing if they break up. I mean, then she's definitely not gonna put it anywhere. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a little too much.
Me too. I was like, wow, I hope this wasn't Gary's idea. I hope this was some other person's because that was not a good idea. I mean, she is really into being on The Bachelor. Her friend did say, oh, I want you to be on it. So maybe she'll look at it as like a commemorative thing of like, look, I made it on The Bachelor and this is,
Um,
you know, but it's so big too. It couldn't have
yeah,
been like a little 8x10. Like,
right. Agree. Probably I had to do it for TV or something.
yeah, for sure. Well, that's all that I took away from that second when Gary, that second time Gary came by the house.
Yeah. And then the rose ceremony started.
Mhm.
Um, and I love, again, this is speaking to me not having seen tons of The Bachelor or any, aka any. When the co-host, if that's his title,
Yeah.
comes out and says, ladies, there's one more rose left. It's like we know there's one more rose left. Like we see it on the table. And I get it's kind of like the old school, American Idol, like, and we'll get to you after the break.
Yeah.
Have to do that. Like I get that, but it's a little too much. And then I just really did not recognize all these women. I mean, there were women on the bunk bed. I'm like, I've never seen her before. There's women at this rose ceremony. I'm like, they clearly have not been on the show. I do not believe it. And I'm sure they were. There's just too dang many.
Yeah.
And then we kind of moved on. And I was just thinking there was a bit of relief when we were narrowing down the women because
Yeah,
now,
for sure. For sure.
but yeah, those
Yeah.
are, it was
I-
a pretty uneventful. It wasn't anything.
yeah, there wasn't a lot going on that episode. I mean, other than, I mean, I started off with a lot of momentum, especially with that car scene and then the flash mob. And then I think just after you give us all that, you
Mhm.
gotta kind of up it to really top
Yeah.
in the beginning of the episode. One thing I did investigate was where was our friend? She was missing.
Oh my gosh. Really? Wow. Okay. Is this standard practice? Do they just kind of like,
Well, I did look it up because I thought
okay.
some other people may want to know. Apparently, she has college age children,
Okay.
and it looks like they may or may not live in one spot or where she lives. So it looks like she needed to leave to take care of one of those children, and that's why she could no longer participate.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks for finding the truth.
I know because
Me, I didn't even, she was one of my most beautiful from Ep 1. And here's me just forgetting she exists because there's way too many women.
there are too many women. And then, oh, we can't forget the best scene of the whole episode.
Oh, yes, this is what I'm talking about. They are not taking their ages into account.
Yeah.
There's bunk beds, they're in heels, they're doing, I mean, God knows how long they're standing for when you have to record stuff for TV. So yes, amen. That's all I say.
For
Agreed.
sure, for sure. So that was the recap. It was short and sweet and to the point. I think we covered all the highlights of episode 2. What do you think?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Well, stay tuned for the recap of episode 3.